Please rise. His Excellency Dachong Shering Topge, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan, Her Excellency Tashidoma, the spouse of Prime Minister, Professor Dr. Surakiat Sathyanthai, Chairperson of the Chulalongkorn University Council, Professor Dr. Willard Puriwat, Acting President of Chulalongkorn University, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Surat Horachaikun, Associate Professor of Department of International Relations, Faculty of Political Science, and Director of Indian Studies Center, Institute of Asian Studies, Chulalongkorn University. I will be the MC for this special talk by Prime Minister Topge of Bhutan. Prime Minister, with your permission, may I start the sequence. The first sequence of today's program is CU chorus singing the song Maha Chulalongkorn. This song was bestowed upon Chulalongkorn University by His Majesty King Rama IX, and it is the song of Chulalongkorn University. Once the CU chorus members stand in line on the stage, may I request all of you to rise until the song ends. Please rise. You may be seated now. Perhaps one round of applause for the CU chorus. For the next sequence, may I invite Associate Professor Dr. Pavika C. Ratanaban, Director of Institute of Asian Studies, to deliver her report.
His Excellency Daisho Shering Topgay, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan, Her Excellency Tashi Doma, the spouse of the Prime Minister, Professor Dr. Surakiat Satien Thai, Chairperson ofฬาลงกรณ University's Council, Professor Dr. Willard Puriwat, Acting President ofฬาลงกรณ University, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Guzu Sangpola, Swadika. I'm Associate Professor Pavika C. Ratanaban, the Director of the Institute of Asian Studies,ฬาลงกรณ University. This is really a special privilege to be allowed to deliver a report before the audience at this historic auditorium that servesฬาลงกรณ University to welcome world leaders and host auspicious events since the establishment of the university in 1917. And today's talk by the Prime Minister has become a reality thanks to the collaboration between the Royal Bhutanese Embassy Bangkok, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Thailand, andฬาลงกรณ University. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to His Excellency Daisho Shering Topgay and Her Excellency Tashi Doma for honoring us with your presence today. Mr. Prime Minister, please allow me to take this opportunity to inform all of us here that our 39-year-old Institute of Asian Studies has always been steadfast on the commitment to supportฬาลงกรณ University in every possible way, to the internationalization and global recognition through research, academic services, and social innovation in various aspects. As nowadays Asia, with its deep historical roots in civilization and the contemporary dynamism, is home of more than 60% of the world population, and the influence of Asia cannot be overstated, not to mention its complexities. Understanding Asia is not just an academic endeavor, but I believe a pathway to our collective effort towards global cooperation that is crucial for the prosperous, peaceful, and sustainable world. And I would like to ensure that the Institute of Asian Studies,ฬาลงกรณ University, is here to take part. With research centers and centers of excellence under the Institute, we have a mission to respond to global challenges while taking into account a creation of mutual respect, and our expertise extend to cover many parts of Asia in terms of Asia and area studies too. Bhutan, for instance, is one of the focal points of our South Asian Studies Center and Indian Studies Center. And the reason that the latter is involved here is due to the fact that Bhutan is a member state of BIMSTEC. And equally important, our Indian Studies Center is now Thailand's official BIMSTEC network of policy think tanks, or BNPTT. This signifies that the Institute of Asian Studies is fully determined when it comes to academic cooperation, bilaterally or multilaterally. Moreover, Thailand is this year appointed to be the chair of BIMSTEC. Not only do we expect another visit to Thailand by the Prime Minister later this year for the BIMSTEC summit, but we also want to inform you that the day before yesterday, our official BNPTT was working with others, including Bhutan, in the meeting with the Eminent Person Group, with only one prime objective in mind, that is, how to deepen and strengthen BIMSTEC. Another two-day meeting of BIMSTEC, where Bhutanese resource persons will join, will be held atฬาลงกรณ์ University on July 11th and 12th as a prelude to this upcoming summit. What I mentioned is just one among many other past, ongoing, or forthcoming collaborations betweenฬาลงกรณ์ University and Bhutan. And suffice it to say,ฬาลงกรณ์ University and the Institute of Asian Studies avail themselves to forge collaboration with Bhutan through research, academic services, to address critical issues such as sufficiency economy, climate change, economic connectivity, social innovation, cultural pluralism, or even gross national happiness. Bond between Bhutan andฬาลงกรณ์ University will be strengthened as much as the perpetuality of our state-to-state and people-to-people relations. Mr. Prime Minister, with total humility and on behalf of the Institute of Asian Studies,ฬาลงกรณ์ University, I would like to request you to please convey our highest regard to His Majesty King Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk, and also our affection to the friendly people of Bhutan. This brings me to the end of my report. Thank you. Gadrin Chela. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Pavika Sriratanaban. May I now invite Professor Dr. Willard Puriwat, Acting President of Chulalongkorn University, to deliver his remarks.
His Excellency, Da Cho Shering Topgay, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan, Her Excellency, Dashi Dowa, the spouse of Prime Minister, Professor Dr. Surakiat Sathyanthai, Chairperson of the Chulalongkorn University Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is an honor for me to welcome you all to Chulalongkorn University for this special talk on Enlightened Leadership by His Excellency Da Cho Shering Topgay, the Honorable Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bhutan. I must admit that I feel truly delighted that the Honorable Prime Minister of Bhutan is here in the university main auditorium amidst the Chulalongkorn administrator and staff, as well as our distinguished guests, and will, in a short moment, deliver his talk on this very important topic of leadership. The reason why I say this, because in my capacity as President of Chulalongkorn University, I want to see Chulalongkorn University serve more than traditional function of an education institution designed for providing instruction, organizing examination, and conferring degrees to students. Chulalongkorn University is a place to groom our students after their graduation to become future leaders. The principal factor underlying this desire of mine comes from the fact that I strongly believe that leadership is crucial. No matter what one does for a living, for this prime reason, many individuals in this auditorium, including me, are keen to attract the most from the Prime Minister's talk. Honorable Prime Minister, if I may use this opportunity to convey my message to friends in Bhutan, that Chulalongkorn University has always cherished the value of working with artists outside Thailand. Both Chulalongkorn University and educational institutions in Bhutan can work closely to one another for more academic collaborations. We inhabit a single, interrelated world and share a collective fate. Therefore, we need to address shared challenges together so that the solution become truly sustainable for the mankind, or at least for the region. As for the last point, which is utmost important to all of us here, I would like to request the Honorable Prime Minister of Bhutan to kindly convey our highest respect from Chulalongkorn University to His Majesty King Jigme Khecha Namgyel Wangchuk and our love to the pleasant people of Bhutan. With this, if I may end my remarks by expressing our sincere gratitude to the Prime Minister Topgay for your visit and the talk which you will deliver. I wish also thank all organizations behind this event, namely the Royal Bhutanese Embassy in Bangkok, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Thailand, and the Institute of Asian Studies at Chulalongkorn University. Last but by not least, I wish to sincerely thank all the audience here for being with us today. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ
Professor Willard, thank you very much for your remarks. Now it's the time that you all have been waiting for. May I now invite Prime Minister Shering Topgay for the talk.
Can put it here. I have the honor of conveying greetings of King Jigme. I've been to Thailand many times. I've been to Bangkok many, many times. And every time I drive by this area, the drivers have pointed out Chula. Chula, Chula. Never had the opportunity of visiting this esteemed world-class university, Chulalongkorn. As I entered today and was greeted warmly by all of you, there was sunshine and rain at the same time. Now, I don't know what this signifies in Thailand, but in Bhutan, like all over the world, generally there's sunshine or there's rain. When they come in together, sunshine and rain, we consider it very auspicious. In fact, we call it flower showers. From the heavens, petals are falling on earth. This is not for me. The flower shower was for Chulalongkorn. I was reminded by the deities and the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the grandeur, of the importance, of the significance of Chulalongkorn University. I am delighted to be here. Not looking at Chula from the outside, but being in here. with you, among you, representing my king and my country and my people here in Chulalongkorn. In Bhutan, when we meet somebody, we say, Kuzuzangpo. So chairman, president, guests, dignitaries, lecturers, professors, and dear, dear, dear students, Kuzuzangpo. It's the same. In Thailand, you say, Sawadikap. We say, Kuzuzangpo. And it means the same thing. Sawadikap means you're wishing somebody well-being. Sawadi from Sanskrit, swasthya, means good health, well-being. Kuzuzangpo means well-being to your body. I wish you well. I wish you well. This is what Kuzuzangpo means. So when we meet each other, we say, Kuzuzangpo. Yesterday, I had the honor of receiving a royal audience from His Majesty. And for His Majesty the King, when I receive a royal audience, I don't say Kuzuzangpo, but I will do this and take a step back. This is how we receive, when we receive a royal audience, offer greetings to our king. So yesterday, when I met His Majesty Mahavajalankan, Rama the 10th, in Thailand, when you say goodbye, how do you say goodbye? Lagon? Lagon? I learned Sawadikap many years ago. And every time I come here, I say Sawadikap. But I never say Lagon because I never learned it. This morning, in the hotel, I am not exaggerating, I asked my friend in the hotel, how do you say goodbye? And he said, Lagon. Yeah. In Dzongkha, we say Lok Jeong. Lok Jeong. I don't know what Lagon means, but Lok Jeong means not goodbye. I will see you again. We will meet again. It's Lok Jeong. So, say this, Kuzuzangpo. Children, students, Kuzuzangpo. Lok Jeong. This is knowledge. You know how to say Kuzuzangpo and you know how to say goodbye. Lok Jeong. Now apply that knowledge. Not here. Because here you say Sawadikap and Lagon. Go to Bhutan. When you meet Bhutanese people, you say Kuzuzangpo. And when you leave Bhutan, don't say goodbye, don't say Lagon. Say Lok Jeong. We'll meet again. How many of you have been to Bhutan? A handful. Professors, associate professors, Honorable Chairman has been to Bhutan, President has not yet been to Bhutan. Students, visit us, visit Bhutan. There's so much to share between Thailand and Bhutan. Visit us. Let's share our stories. In Thailand, in Chula, but also in Bhutan, in Bhutanese universities. Chulalongkorn. When I was driving by the neighborhood before, and they said, this is Chula, this is Chula, this is Chulalongkorn, I read about the great university. Why is this university so great? Your commitment to academic excellence, your commitment to fostering research and innovation, your commitment to partnering with the community, enhancing global partnerships, preserving culture, and very importantly, promoting sustainable development. All these and more, the grand purpose of Chulalongkorn. Today, I thought about the purpose of Chulalongkorn. And I said, all this for one specific purpose, to produce leaders. Not future leaders, but leaders from now. The overall goal of Chulalongkorn, while it is academic excellence and research and innovation and preservation of culture and enhancing global partnerships and engaging with the communities and promoting sustainable development, your overall purpose is to produce leaders. Leaders that the world desperately needs. What is leadership? Ultimately, leadership is the ability to see beyond the status quo. Leadership is the ability to envision something better than the current status quo. To see a better place. And leadership is the ability to get yourself from here to that better place. This is leadership. If the current situation is good enough, you don't need to go to a better place. You don't need leadership. You just need to look after the current situation, maintain the status quo. That is, in my opinion, management. And there are areas where you need good management. A vehicle. You look after the vehicle because it is good enough. You look after it, you manage it. You manage the vehicle. Make sure the oil is changed in time. Make sure the tires have the right pressure. Make sure the bearings are functioning. That is management. But if you want to make the car into a supercar, if you wanted to drive faster, you need leadership. You need to imagine the car and be able to develop it to a supercar. If the current situation at the university, which is world class, is fine, you need a manager to make sure things don't deteriorate. But if you have a vision to take it further, you need a leader to first imagine it, to envision it, and then to take you on that journey to make your university better, bigger, brighter. That's what leadership is all about. Leadership is important because the world is facing crisis after crisis. Therefore, the importance of Chula. Therefore, the importance of training leaders. We face geopolitical problems, we face economic uncertainty, climate change. We just came through a pandemic. Technology advancements that we don't know where we are going. Do we need managers or do we need leaders? I propose we need leaders to take care of humanity, to take care of our earth, to take care of our future, because there is a better place. We have problems. To solve those problems, we need leaders. But the solution requires action. Now, Thailand and Bhutan, what we share, by and large, we share many things. But in the area of spirituality, we are common. We are both Buddhist countries. In Bhutan, we believe we are surrounded by enlightened beings. Because in Buddhism, what is the purpose? Enlightenment. Why? To escape samsara, to attain nirvana, That is the very purpose of Buddhism. Samsara, the cycle of suffering, the cycle of birth, life, death, birth, life, death. We want to escape that by becoming enlightened, by whatever way, and then enter nirvana. Both Thailand and Bhutan have been blessed by many enlightened beings who have become enlightened, escaped samsara, entered nirvana. Now, like Thailand, in Bhutan, we have a special group of enlightened beings. We call them bodhisattvas. In Dzongkha, we say Chanchu Sempas. Bodhisattvas, Bodhi, Buddha. They are enlightened, but they do not enter nirvana. They are enlightened, but they choose not to enter nirvana. They want to be reborn so they can help other sentient beings, other people attain enlightenment, escape samsara, and help them enter nirvana. These enlightened beings, these bodhisattvas, in my view, are the ultimate in leadership. They are the enlightened leaders. They have achieved Buddhahood, escaped samsara, can attain nirvana, but they choose to come back and be born among us so that we can attain enlightenment. This is selfless service. Service not for self, but for others. Now, bodhisattvas, we believe in a range of bodhisattvas. We have many bodhisattvas to inspire us. Bodhisattva for wisdom, for long life, for wealth, for hard work, for good health. We have many bodhisattvas. And we draw inspiration from them. But there is a group of bodhisattvas, a trinity of bodhisattvas, 3 bodhisattvas that I consider special in the area of leadership. This is the Riksun Gyembo, the 3 of them. One is Manjushri in Dzongkha Jambyang. And then we have Chanadoji, Vajrapani. And then we have Avalokiteshvara or Cherezi. 3 bodhisattvas, again, enlightened beings who should be in nirvana but choose to return to earth so that they can help others achieve enlightenment. The 3 bodhisattvas. The first one, Jambyang, is the bodhisattva of wisdom. The second, Chanadoji, is the bodhisattva of courage. The third, Cherezi, is the bodhisattva of compassion. Wisdom, courage, and compassion. Now there's a story of Jambyang, many stories, but one story is as the bodhisattva of knowledge. Many years ago, during the time of Lord Buddha, learned men heard about Jambyang, Manjushri, and they were waiting for Manjushri to give them the teachings. And they waited an hour, 2 hours, a day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks. Many people got angry and they left, but some stayed. And after many weeks, Manjushri appeared. And they said, "My Lord, where were you? We waited for you. Some of us left. Some of our friends left. Where were you?" And Jambyang, in Sanskrit, Manjushri, Jambyang said, "Oh, I was giving teachings. I met the poor people. I taught them. I met some children. I taught them. I met some ladies of the night. I taught them. I met some beggars. I taught them. I met some thieves, burglars. I taught them." And they were confused. So why teach them? We are scholars. We want to learn. And Jambayang said, I needed to teach them because they need the tools for enlightenment. And then some of them got angry. How can they be more important than us? And they left. And just as the disciples were making a lot of noise, the Lord Buddha announced, while you were waiting and waiting in anger, Jambayang gave teachings to children and the poor, to ladies of the night and cruel people, thieves and murderers. And he gave them enlightenment through his teachings. And then the disciples said, how can you give enlightenment so quickly? How did you teach them? And Jambayang said, to the children, I played games with them. To the poor, I gave them some alms. To the ladies of the night, I showed compassion. To the murderers, to the thieves, I showed them my wrathful self. I gave them fear. And through a mixture of all this, they became enlightened. And then everybody, all the disciples, prostrated to Jambayang. The moral of the story is knowledge is important, and knowledge is equally important for everyone. And knowledge is required to improve your life, to become enlightened. So every school in Bhutan has a picture of Jambayang. And Jambayang is seated with his sword. We have a sword here, a flaming sword. And the purpose of the sword is what it represents, it cuts through ignorance. That is the first bodhisattva, Jambayang. The second bodhisattva, Chana Doji, is portrayed very dangerous looking, very bold with bulging eyes, big face, blue. And the story about Chana Doji, one of the story is when Prince Siddhartha, when he left his palace, when he left his duties as a crown prince, as a future king, when he left his wife, when he left his child, when he left the life of luxury in the palace, in the dead of night, when he walked out, he wasn't alone. He was accompanied by Chana Doji, the bodhisattva of courage. Why? Because you may have the knowledge, you may have the vision, but you need the strength to implement it. You need courage. The importance of courage, the importance of Chana Doji, that even who would eventually become Lord Gautama Buddha, as Prince Siddhartha, when he left the palace, he needed courage. The importance of courage. You can have any virtue, wisdom, love, generosity, whatever virtue, but without courage to implement that virtue, no use. Therefore, the importance of Chana Doji, the importance of courage. Remember, if you have wisdom alone, knowledge alone, knowledge is important. Chulalongkorn is knowledge. But a book is also knowledge. But wisdom alone is like spending time in Chulalongkorn and then knowing everything but not implementing. It is like a book in the library left unread. You need courage to read that book, to acquire that knowledge, and to implement it. You need courage to implement what you have learned in Chulalongkorn in your lives and in the world. Importance of courage. However, knowledge and courage alone is not good. It's dangerous. Knowledge alone is useless. For you, you know what? You must implement. So you need knowledge and you need courage to implement that knowledge. But the danger is, if you just have courage and you implement that knowledge, you don't care about the consequences. If your child is not studying, I'm a father, I know. The child needs to study. I have the knowledge. I know that the child must study for a successful future. Many parents will spoil their child. My darling, why should my child work so hard? Today, we really don't need to teach them because everything is artificial intelligence now. Give them toys. Buy them some cake. Spoil them. So you have the knowledge, but you're not implementing it. Or you could implement it and say, son, study, or I'm going to beat you. Or you're not going to get your money. Or you're not going to get playtime. You study. I can be a very strict parent. And they will study. They may get good marks. Is that the best? No. You need compassion. You need to understand why the child is not studying in the first place. You need compassion. Therefore, the third bodhisattva, compassion is very important. And compassion is the most difficult. The story of Cherezi is that as a bodhisattva, he refused to go to nirvana and came back to earth, wanted others to become enlightened and worked very hard with great deal of compassion and was so frustrated that his head split into 11 pieces. The Buddha assembled them and now he has 11 heads. His hand split into 1,000 pieces, his two hands, and so he has now 1,000 hands, 1,000 eyes, 11 heads, all to practice compassion. The importance of compassion. Without compassion, leadership is deadly. If you have knowledge alone, it's of limited use. Knowledge with courage is dangerous. This is what makes authoritarians. This is what makes dictators. What you need is compassion. Knowledge, courage, compassion. Why is compassion needed? Go back to my definition of leadership. Leadership is understanding the current situation, envisioning a better place, and taking people to that better place. What is that default position? We don't want to change. We want to be in the current situation. To go to that better place, even if people understand it's a better place, going there is difficult. A lot of sacrifices needed. You have to make a lot of sacrifices to go from where you are to that better place. If you have knowledge of the better place and that courage to go to that better place, that journey may be very, very, very painful, but you don't care because you don't have compassion. This is why you need compassion. When you understand where that better place is, to go from where you are to that better place, you must have the courage to go on the journey, but also the compassion for yourself, for others, for society, to know that people must make sacrifices. It'll be painful to go out of your comfort zone into a new place, the objective of which, the goal of which, the ideal of which is that it is a better, safer place. Wisdom, courage, compassion, but driven by selfless service like the bodhisattvas. These are the attributes of what I call enlightened leadership. To be an enlightened leader, you must practice the attributes, the virtues of wisdom, courage, compassion, and one must be driven by selfless service. Why do I talk of this? Because it is important in this day and age. Why do I talk of enlightened leadership? Because this is what Chulalongkorn University is all about. I choose to speak about enlightened leadership, not because I see myself as an enlightened leader. No, I am far from one. But because having grown up in Bhutan, we've had the benefit of being amongst enlightened beings, just like you in Thailand, of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, but also of our enlightened kings. So you think of enlightened leadership, and you think of the great Rama V, who started Chulalongkorn University. You think of enlightened leadership, and you think of the great Rama IX and his philosophy of self-sufficiency philosophy. Self-sufficiency philosophy. Unique. A philosophy that enables us to live sustainably by prioritizing a combination of economy, society, and environment, by focusing on moderation, reasonableness, perseverance. The virtues of knowledge and virtues, self-sufficiency economy, the philosophy gifted by an enlightened leader, King Rama IX. He had the wisdom before the financial crisis. He had the courage to command self-sufficiency economy philosophy and to implement it. And the hope it gave an entire nation and other nations during the financial crisis in 1997. And King Rama IX had the compassion. He not only toured every village, met every person in Thailand to talk about sufficiency economy, but also started many projects himself. Had the compassion for the people. In Bhutan, again, we have Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and then we have our enlightened monarchs. His Majesty the Fourth King articulated gross national happiness in the 1970s. Gross national happiness, a development philosophy that balances economic growth, which is important, but with social progress, cultural preservation, sustainability, and good governance. This was in the 1970s. Even today, people want to know about gross national happiness and how to implement it all over the world. Even today, people want to know about the sufficiency economy philosophy. Enlightened leaders. King Rama IX, His Majesty the Fourth King of Bhutan. Enlightened leaders, King Jigme, our current king. Taking gross national happiness to another level now, because His Majesty the King is developing a special administrative region called the Gelifu Mindfulness City along Bhutan's border with India. 2,500 square kilometers of pristine land is going to be developed into a special administrative zone. The world has special administrative zones and special economic zones. Special economic zones are created within countries for economic purposes. Special administrative zones are the legacies of colonial powers. Our special economic zone, envisioned and guided by His Majesty the King, King Jigme, is being developed deliberately as a special economic zone with independent government, independent legislature, independent judiciary. And this entire special economic zone of 2,500 square kilometers encompasses nature reserves and protected forests, connected with the biological corridor, has waterways criss-cutting the entire landscape, supported by mountains at the back and the vast plains of India in the front. This area is being developed, not just for now, but for the future. The royal vision represents wisdom. His Majesty's determination to start implementing it, as indeed he has, represents courage, because many people will be scratching their heads and saying, how is it possible? A small country, without the resources of other larger countries, can do this. Many people are going to say, not possible, it will be too difficult. It takes courage to implement that vision for the future of our children, for the future of Bhutan, for the future of the region, and the future of the world. Why the future of the region and future of the world? Because it becomes an example of new urban living. We have urban spaces all over the world. Throughout history, urban spaces were developed. How did it develop? Organically, as they probably should have, organically. But what is the driving force of urban development, of city structures? Ultimately, it is liberal markets, it is the economy, it is profits that is driving how the city is developed. In this case, it is sustainability. In this case, it is human values. How can humans add value to themselves and other human beings? How can we live in peace and harmony with each other and at the same time live in harmony with Mother Nature while prospering all together? Enlightened leadership. For Bhutan, we are going through a very challenging phase where we have gross national happiness, and the successes of gross national happiness, the very successes of gross national happiness, is becoming a challenge. We have a democracy, a vibrant culture, pristine environment. We are a carbon neutral country. And socially we have progressed because of free education, free healthcare. Every child has been through school, is in school. Everybody in Bhutan can speak the English language. And because of free healthcare, we are relatively healthy. The challenge is that our economy has not kept pace. Our economy, which is largely distributive, which is largely sustainable, is too small. And so our many youth who are completing the schools, well educated, can speak English, do not have the jobs that they aspire for in the country, and they are migrating out. Kelifu Mindfulness City, this special administrative region, while it will serve a purpose in the future, in Bhutan, it is deadly serious. It is for our youth, for them now, and for their future. It takes courage to implement this. And His Majesty the King, King Jigme, has toured throughout the country, met almost every household, and explained not just Kelifu Mindfulness City, but even the hardship it will entail in creating this special administrative region, this mindfulness city. That's compassion. And who does He do it for? Not for Himself, not for us, for future generations. Selfless service. Wisdom, courage, compassion, driven by selfless service, are the hallmarks of enlightened leaders. Chulalongkorn, as you continue to strive to be a center for academic excellence, as you continue to nurture innovation and research, to partner with communities, to enhance global partnerships, to develop sustainability and to protect your cultural heritage, don't forget to produce leaders. Don't forget to produce enlightened leaders. Leaders who are fearless. Leaders who are wise. Leaders who are compassionate. Leaders who practice the attributes of the Bodhisattvas, of wisdom, courage, compassion, and driven by selfless service. ขอบคุณมากครับ
Prime Minister, if I
Thank you, thank you.
If I may request you to remain on the stage because we have some questions,
Oh.
very interesting, all of them. ขอเชิญเก้าอี้ด้วยนะครับ
No, I don't need that. I don't need. No.
It's
I don't
okay.
need that.
เอาไม่เอา Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope you can stay with us until 4 in the evening.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure.
I waited very long to come into Chulalongkorn, so I will stay here as long as my invitation does not expire.
Okay. All kinds of questions coming from all walks of life, okay? I hope I'll be able to categorize them a bit. The first one is a little bit out of context, but I think it's very important. The question is, what is the prime purpose of your official visit to Thailand this year, okay, this time? And do we expect any tangible agreements or cooperation between Bhutan and Thailand, perhaps? This is the first question.
So the first question, the main purpose of my visit to Thailand is to promote, further strengthen the good relations between Thailand and Bhutan. It's very simple. I have been in office for 4.5 months. I have been to only one other country, India. They are a very important neighbor for us. So India. I've been to India twice. No, thank you. And after that, I have not been to any other country. It is to Thailand. Why? Because Thailand is important for Bhutan. Thailand-Bhutan relations are special, and they need to be nurtured. And this is why I have chosen to come here. I met with Honorable Prime Minister yesterday, invited him to visit Bhutan. He has agreed, so we look forward to welcoming him. And we hope that there will be even bigger dignitaries, more of them visiting Bhutan, as indeed we will continue to visit Thailand also. Thailand and Bhutan, this relationship, this friendship is just too important and special not to be nurtured like this. Memorandum of understanding, yes, memorandum of understanding is just so that when you have an official visit, you appear to do the work. So something must be signed. So we signed something on tourism and culture, and tourism and education, but that's not important. We discussed a range of issues: bilateral cooperation, development cooperation, multilateral cooperation, and we developed friendship. I think I've become good friends with your Prime Minister. We are already on WhatsApp. I don't think I'm supposed to mention this. Yeah, but the point is, this is the reason why I'm here, to make friends. Honorable Chairman, President, to make friends. Minister, to make friends.
Thank you. Okay, I'll proceed to the second questions.
If it gets too difficult, I will take out my phone and inquire ChatGPT.
Okay. Well, it's related to ChatGPT. Prime Minister, coincidentally, it's related to ChatGPT.
Okay.
Say, please advise how can we grow wisdom, courage, and compassion in being driven in this AI-driven generation?
Does AI have wisdom, knowledge, wisdom? If wisdom is like a library, perhaps. But if wisdom is envisioning something better. Not now. Can it? I don't know about better, but it can envision a different scenario. So we could say wisdom. Will it have courage? I think ChatGPT can, or AI, will be able to implement things. If given the opportunity, if we don't have the switch, if we don't have the plug, AI will be able to implement with courage. I don't know whether you'd call it courage or not, but they will have the determination to implement. Will AI have compassion? That's what makes AI so dangerous. If artificial intelligence, if we are willing to agree that artificial intelligence can have wisdom, if not now in the future, can envision a different scenario, a different place. If we can say that artificial intelligence will be willing to implement things without even considering why, we can implement, we'll have courage to implement. We can call it courage because they will implement. But I think what we can agree on is AI, artificial intelligence, will not have a faintest clue of what compassion is. That's what makes AI dangerous. If AI could have compassion, oh, problem solved. We have the enlightened leader. But AI, I doubt. I cannot see AI having compassion. We must have enlightened leadership. For our youth today, bombarded in social media, forget about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is coming and the next step, and we should be aware of it, yes. But look at social media and the anxiety it's causing, the insecurities it's causing, the self-doubt it is causing. In me, of all the people, so you can imagine among the children. What's needed to correct this? What's needed to take us to a better place is enlightened leadership. Artificial intelligence is an all-new ballgame. Don't look to artificial leaders for enlightened leadership. Look to enlightened leaders to manage artificial intelligence.
Thank you. I specifically choose this one. I think it's come from a young person, and I think they deserve also an opportunity to shoot you some questions. When I was a student, teacher told me that you need to be a leader. And when I enter university, I also been told that I need to be a leader. My question is, when would I know that I'm already a leader?
Did this question come from the hall?
Yes.
What's the difference between human beings and every other life form? Leadership. Leadership. I believe every human being is a leader. Each and every one of us is a leader. Babies, probably not. Toddlers, not too sure. But the moment you can think, you exercise wisdom, however marginal that wisdom may be, you are a leader. Whether you exercise leadership or not is a different question. If there is any human being that cannot exercise leadership, is not a leader, that is the worst form of existence. To me, that must be hell. I learned this very early on in my career. When I joined my office, I had this driver. And this driver, in Bhutan, especially in the old days, we had iodine deficiency. And if you are severely impaired with iodine deficiency, in the old days in the West, they call them cretins. You're not smart. They say you are stupid. And he looked like he was iodine deficient. my driver, but very good driver. And he was very kind to me. I would try to be kind to him, but in my book, he was iodine deficient. One day he came to me and he said, I'm going to my village. I said, oh, did you apply for leave? Because we are bureaucrats. So he said, yes, he's applied for leave and he got leave for 1 week. And then I said, oh, and why are you going home? And then he said, oh, big problem. Our parents died last year and he has 5 siblings and he has to go to his village to sort out the inheritance because they will listen only to him. Leadership. To the person I thought was iodine deficient. And then I realized it doesn't matter who you are, what type of student you are here. It doesn't matter. You are important for someone else. Your existence is important. Your leadership is important. And therefore, how will you know whether you're a leader or not? You don't have to know. You are a leader. The question is, do you exercise leadership or not? Animals, I believe, don't have a sense of leadership. You may think of a tiger or a lion, the alpha male, the wolf as leaders. It's all instinct. It's not leadership. It's instinct. It's hormones. It's natural. But human beings are the only ones that can actually matter for other people. Their existence matters. What does it mean? It means they are leaders. They can influence change. If you cannot influence, you're not a leader, and your existence won't matter. So back to this very, very important question, which I think is profound. How do I know whether I'm a leader or not? You are already one. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, how am I influencing myself? How am I influencing my friends, my family, my peers? Leadership begins there. It is not about the whole nation and society and the whole world. They are enlightened beings, like the great Rama V. Enlightened beings, enlightened leaders. And then all of us, we are leaders. Right?
Thank you. I'm trying to be fair for all groups of people, and this one is from news media. Okay. Bhutan is known for its commitment to sustainable tourism. In your opinion,
sustainable
tourism.
Okay.
What lesson can Thailand learn from Bhutan's approach to promote and support sustainable tourism?
Don't learn anything from Bhutan. Bhutan, we have 700,000 people. Chulalongkorn area has 700,000 people. So what can Thailand learn? It's totally different. What can Bhutan learn from Thailand? Sufficiency economy, enlightened leadership from Chulalongkorn. But the context is different. Thailand has about 70 million people. Bhutan is only 700,000 people. What we can do is share stories. Share stories to inspire one another, to come together, to nurture our friendship. And what you can do is visit Bhutan, not to learn, but to immerse yourself in sustainable tourism. Just as I am here, have this opportunity to immerse myself in academia in Chulalongkorn University.
Thank you.
Every time you wear your spectacles and looked at that question, I get a little nervous.
Thank you.
What you just did made me more nervous. You flipped through the cards.
There are a lot of them, but some are quite redundant with one another, so I'm trying my best to choose. Perhaps the maybe last 2 questions to you. Is it okay?
You're the boss.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so nice, when Prime Minister tells me that I'm the boss. So, thank you. As future leaders, we will of course remember you and your lesson of selfless leadership with wisdom, courage, and compassion. May I ask, from whom have you learned leadership and to whom did you look up to when you were still a student leader like us?
So first, not future leaders. As leaders, don't call yourself future leaders. You are leaders now. Take charge of your own life. Effect change for the better, for yourself, for your community, and for others. And this is not selfless leadership. It's enlightened leadership. Wisdom, courage, compassion, driven by selfless service. Service for others, for a larger cause. Maybe even a timeless cause. That is enlightened leadership. Who do I look up to? I look up to the great fourth, my fourth king, for inspiration. And then I look up to King Jigme for motivation. If a king can work so hard, so deliberately, day and night, not for himself, but for his people, not just for his people now, but for the future, that is the motivation that sparks the fire inside my belly. I am blessed to be able to receive the blessings of enlightened leaders in Bhutan, as indeed you are in Thailand. King Chula, Rama V, during his reign, he kept all colonial powers away. He managed it. Thailand was never colonized. Bhutan was never colonized. Why? It is enlightened leadership. Mention King Rama IX. I had the opportunity to receive an audience from another enlightened leader, King Rama X. In his presence, I could feel enlightened leadership. I don't know enough about Thailand, but I know enough about enlightened leaders to recognize one when I'm in their presence. I am blessed.
The last questions from our students. I'm seeing the world in quite a negative sense in terms of moral decay and others. So what should a leader like me do now to nurture compassion and enlightenment for all?
Enlightenment for all. Whoever, good that you did not say a future leader, said leader, you are a leader. Unfortunate that you are in Chulalongkorn, maybe you should be in a monastery. Maybe my fault. Don't take life so seriously. The world is a good place. It's a good place. Should have been here during King Rama V's time. Then you know how bad it is, how difficult it is. They were all slaves. He abolished slavery. There was no uprising. And every foreign country, Great Britain, America, France, they're all vying for territory in Southeast Asia, and Thailand was the prime one. This is a good time. Yes, social media makes it difficult. Yes, artificial intelligence. Yes, we just came over a pandemic, a COVID pandemic. Yes, you want to think about the future, but it's not as clear, the picture, as before. But the situation is far better than our previous generations. And you have the benefit of the wisdom that Chulalongkorn University has given you. Have the courage, and cultivate the compassion. You are already compassionate. If you lacked compassion, you would not be able to ask me this question. Just nurture it and be enlightened leaders. Okay?
Thank you very much. I think one of the best talks I have ever attended, and it's, thought-provoking, waking certain parts in me also and others. Okay, brilliant. And if you can remain on the stage, because
you won't let me go.
This brilliant talk by you. So please let us express our sincere gratitude to you. May I now call on Associate Professor Dr. Palani Amaranon, the Acting Vice President of Chulalongkorn University, to present flower bouquet to the Prime Minister. This again reflects our sincere gratitude to you, Prime Minister.
Beautiful.
Please, the audience remain seated. Only the yellow ribbon bow will accompany the Prime Minister to the reception. Only the yellow ribbon bow, and now with the purple ribbon bow, after the yellow ribbon bow, you may exit the auditorium and enter the reception. So please, the purple bow, follow this side. ได้ครับตอนนี้ได้หมดแล้วพี่เข้านี่ดีกว่าเผื่อ The yellow ribbon bow, please leave on this side and make sure that you get your lunch or snacks whatsoever that they have provided. Thank you. Okay. From? Oh, okay. You are our neighbors.